Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping in and checking out this video. So I might get a lot of flack for this based on my feedback on some of my Trail 125 videos lately, mostly with exhaust topics, specifically removing the spark arrestor. So if you commented on that video and you weren't happy about that project, you're not going to be happy about this project. So with that disclaimer out of the way, what we're going to do today, based on the title of the video, is we're going to try a different exhaust system on the Trail 125. This is not something that I specifically had in mind when I got this bike. There was nothing even available for exhaust systems unless I got it imported from Japan. So it wasn't really a big concern of mine going forward with this bike. However, when the guys at Man in the Box approached me and said that they had a Yoshimura system for me to try if I wanted to, I said absolutely. It's not, like I said, something that was on my mind, but when presented with the option, why not, right? So I looked into it a little bit, and one thing that staggered me was the claims by Yoshimura that this exhaust will provide. So we're talking, it's 4 pounds lighter than the stock system. So the stock system comes in at 10.3 pounds. The Yosh system comes in at 6.1 pounds. So if it's weight savings you're concerned about, which I can't imagine why you'd be concerned about weight savings on a trail bike, doesn't really matter. But of course you don't really want to put something on that's heavier, right? It's a low power small bore motorcycle. The more weight, the slower it's going to go. However, like I said, not an important detail, but a nice detail, one that you'd expect on an aftermarket exhaust, right? You don't want it to be a little bit heavier. So we're looking at 5.7% more horsepower. So we're talking about a gain of 5.7% horsepower. Now, on a horsepower scale that's less than 10, that's not a huge number when you look at a horsepower gain. However, 5.7% gain is noticeable, right? Or it should be noticeable. And this next number is the one that's really interesting. 16% more torque. So that's a massive gain. 16%, that's a lot. So we're looking at probably 1.6 foot-pounds more torque. So that's a pretty good little gain on a small bike if it's 10 horsepower. These bikes I think are coming in 9 or maybe a little bit less than 9. So looking at maybe one more torque, one more foot-pound of torque, I should say. So that's not bad. Those are interesting numbers. So even if you're not interested in the change of sound on an exhaust system, you could at least be interested in the fact that it is beneficial, according to Yoshimura, that if you bolt this thing up to your bike, you're going to get more horsepower, you're going to get more torque. You're going to lose weight, and you're going to produce a different sound. So as far as the things you get from it, you're going to get a lot. So that's one of the reasons why I was willing to try out this exhaust, despite really liking the silent nature of the stock exhaust. Also with this system, there's an option to add a spark arrestor onto it. So this is important for all of the people out there that really enjoyed the stock exhausts, USDA, or U.S. Parks and Recreation. I don't know. I think it's USDA, U.S. Department of Agricultural, rated spark arrestor. So basically, this bike was able to go in national parks, and I don't know if it's parks or forest management areas, places that you can ride motorcycles that are owned by the government. So normally that comes with the restriction of exhausts. So you don't want your open exhaust like you would have on a dirt bike or a race bike to produce a spark and start a forest fire. Obviously, the stock exhausts on these bikes have catalytic converters, so I don't know how easy it would be for a hot ember or a spark to pass through a catalytic converter and out the tailpipe onto a dry forest bed somewhere with the stock exhaust. Even if the spark arrestor wasn't in there, I don't know if that would be an easy thing for it to do. So anyways, but Honda went above and beyond and put a factory spark arrestor on the stock exhaust. I did a test to see if that made a difference in the power. I'll link to that video right up here in the corner. You can see for yourself. I'll spoil it a little bit and I'll say that the spark arrestor doesn't really matter if it's in or out, but that video highlights the details of it. So I also did a video on how it sounds without the spark arrestor. I'll link to that as well. You be the judge of how it sounds. But overall, it's going to probably make people a little bit upset if you take a spark arrestor out and then you ride through national parks and forests, especially people out west where forest fires are a huge concern. So with all that said, it was a added accessory for the Yoshimura exhaust for the trail to have an optional spark arrestor. I did not get that spark arrestor with this kit, but I will be adding it for a future video. So with all that said, let's take a look at the Yoshimura system. Let's unbox it. Let's get it out of its wrapping and its packaging. Let's see what came in the box. This might have been an open box or a demo unit for Man in the Box. I'm not sure. So your packaging may be a little bit different than what I received. So don't take this as exactly what you're going to get, but more or less an idea of what you'll get. So let's go take a look at this box, see what's inside. Okay, so everything's out of the box. We'll go over the system piece by piece, starting with the header pipe. This is the pipe that bolts into the head, and it's the first thing that the exhaust passes through. So as typical with Yoshimura systems, this is called a factory finish, I believe, and it's really just a nice color. I don't think the pipe is made out of anything different. I think it's just a stainless steel pipe. It is pretty light, and we'll get the stock exhaust system off and we'll do a size comparison test. I guarantee you this is going to be a little bit bigger in diameter than the stock. The stock pipe is super skinny. So moving on to the next piece, this is the heat shield that goes onto the pipe. And I don't know if you can see it, but a nice little touch in typical Yoshimura fashion is the Hunter Cub logo that's in here. Let me see if I can put it right there. You can see it pretty good. It's pretty neat. There it is. Shows up pretty nice in there. Nice little touch by Yoshimura. The Honda Monkey system they produce has a little banana peel and a little monkey guy on it. That's always fun. And Man in the Box put the spring in the little bag here. So this is the spring that clamps the two pieces of the system together. And then lastly, you have the muffler or silencer part. And this is a Cerakote finish. So it's basically like a powder coat finish that's really high temp and not typically like powder coat. Powder coat's plastic that just basically melts over the part at a high temperature, about 400 degrees. So it's not always the best thing for an exhaust system because exhaust systems might get well over 400 degrees sometimes. So Cerakote's a nice finish option for exhaust. And it's got a straight through design. As you can see here, trying to look through the back, probably can't see all the way through it, but you can see here, right all the way through there. So this is a straight through packed system here, and it's probably of the typical design that it has either a stainless steel or a fiberglass type packing inside that straight through core or on the outer core of that straight through section, and the pipe inside is perforated that it helps absorb the sound waves. So it's a little bit different in color. The Yoshimura systems typically run this factory finish all the way through, but I think the description on Yoshimura's website mentions going with a old school sort of style with this, in line with their CYCLONE racing systems, so that makes sense. It'll be nice because the red and the black offset each other really nice on the bike. So based on what I see here, the quality is absolutely immaculate, as you'd expect from Yoshimura, and I don't expect any problems with putting it on because I've dealt with some Yoshimura systems before and they've all been super easy. So with that, I'm pretty excited about this system. Let's get the other system off the bike and then we'll come back and we'll do a little comparison. We'll see why this system might produce more horsepower or figure out what makes it different.